Welcome to Trade of the Week. As the European markets get back from the long weekend, we thought we'd do the Trade of the Week for this coming 4-day period after the long weekend. Josh Mahony is with us with some more analysis of not just this week's Trade of the Week, but last time we spoke was last Friday week, when the short cable trade was the preferred trade for the last full week's trade, but in fact didn't work out.
No, not particularly. So in terms of that cable move, we did see a very volatile week just gone in terms of North Korea and everything that happened with that and alike. So we did see some pretty big movement for the dollar. In terms of cable, we saw that resurgence, people moving out of the dollar, and that's how we saw this resurgence in terms of cable. If we look at this wider sort of perspective, you can see this symmetrical triangle. What we were looking for was a breakdown through this 123.88 and back down towards this support structure and this ascending trend line. Now, from what I remember, if we just get back to the 4-hour chart, I was saying that the first target would have been this support level. So that first target was hit, so that was successful. But in terms of the extension of it and moving back towards the bottom end of this formation, that didn't necessarily come to fruition. Actually, it held on to this 123.77 area of support and utilised that to be able to push higher. And of course, with the break up above 125.06, then it negated the creation of lower highs, and now we've pushed ourselves back towards, and if I take it onto the weekly time frame, back towards, actually I think the daily shows it better, this descending trend line at the top end of the symmetrical triangle. So some questions are going to be asked here, and certainly if we can take out this 126.20 mark, and more importantly 127.11, that all of a sudden looks like a bullish breakout, and until then we have got this trend line resistance to contend with.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at next week's then. What is your trade for this coming week?
I think that the euro is going to be a really interesting one because of, and this can be a bit of a controversial one, because of the fact that we've got the French elections coming up, and now in some ways you're likely to see people think that we're going to see this move away from the euro because of the fact that it's greater risk. The way that I'm seeing it is the opposite. I think that people are, certainly they have been seeing a lot of risk within the currency pair, but at the same time, I think people are becoming a little bit more aware of the fact that, for me, I don't think Marine Le Pen can actually get into power, and as such, I don't think it's necessarily a bad time to be buying the euro. From a technical perspective, there's certainly a big argument to be made that we could be seeing a sort of bottom being created over the past, say, 5-6 months, where we saw that sell-off into the bottom end of this 2.5 year range. We then managed to break higher from that. We've created higher highs and higher lows, sold off into a deep retracement at 76.4. Last week ended up in the green. This week, of course, looks like it's starting in a very similar fashion. The daily time frame shows you essentially that pullback that we have seen. If we grab this fib on today, you can see that 76.4 slap bang at the bottom. So it's been turning higher from that 76.4 following the retracement that is in line with the uptrend that we've been seeing since the turn of the year. Now, the key thing that I'm looking for here on the 4-hour chart, we can see we do have this symmetrical triangle, and crucially, if we were to break above this near-term swing high, 106.77, then all of a sudden not only do you have the creation of higher lows, but we've also got the creation of higher highs, and that feeds into that wider uptrend following that pullback into the 76.4. So a break up above 106.77 would make me bullish, and therefore I would be essentially looking for that nearer swing low 106.07 as my stop loss, and then be looking for it to head back towards the top end of this pullback that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks.
Okay, Josh, all right, thanks very much indeed. That's this week's Trade of the Week. It's a foreshortened week. We're starting it on this Tuesday, the 18th of April. And Josh's choice for this week is long euro dollar.